question?
I don't have any questions, but just a statement. I mean, it's to a single-family residence, a 14-cent per month increase. I mean, it's not that huge.
No.
I mean, stamps are more expensive. And the multifamily is going to be 74 cents. So it's not, that's a little more, but it's just not a huge, huge increase.
No, it's just a sign of the times. It's unfortunate, but for whatever, you know, for the future of, I think it's for the future of the recycling program.
Just to let you know, since that workshop, things have gotten worse. So we're honoring our.
Can you pick up the mic, please?
I just wanted to let you. Hello? Oh, sorry. Ian Boyle, Waste Connections Government Affairs Manager. Since that workshop, things have gotten worse. So, but we're honoring our proposal. Just to give you an idea, it doesn't affect here, but down south we deal with a processor where if we bring anything to them that's more than 10% contaminated, it's $150 a ton. Now it's $37.50 to burn it here in Pinellas, but you know, if we bring recyclables that are more than 10% contamination, it's going to be $150 a ton. So that's since the workshop. The other processor we use down there, we were paying $15 a ton. Now we're up to 85, and we probably expect it to go over to 3 figures here pretty soon. So, just the sign of the times.
That presentation we got from the county helped educate some people on what goes in recycling as far as, you know, the plastics and pizza boxes and all that. So hopefully that'll help with your side of it and the contamination part.
We're trying. I mean, it would at the League of Cities conference, all the haulers were there, about 6 of them. I know the city manager was there, and everyone was sharing their experiences. Anyone who's got a recycling contract only, anywhere in the country, it went from being profitable to losing money February 1st, every recycling contract in the country. If you have a contract that's solid waste and recycling, it's just become a little bit tighter. So it's just a sign of the times.
Well, if there are no more questions? Comments?
There's a huge global recycling issue. All the proceeds, all the recyclables, in 2017, there was a market for them. There is not a market for them now. China basically cut off that market, which consumes about 60% of those recyclables. As such, the entire world has an immense supply of recyclables. Anything that had value is either 50%. Paper, which is the largest part of the stream, is at 0. If you can get someone to take it for 0, you're happy. Most of it's negative 10 bucks a ton. Glass has always had no value. Metals have value. They probably have the most value, but unfortunately they're the smallest part of the stream. So if you just Google China and recycling, you'll have 50,000 articles on it, what we're dealing with. So, yep.
Anything else? Well, thank you very much, and I appreciate, the city appreciates your
Thank you.
keeping the contract as is. The floor is now open for public comment on this item.
Robert Preston, 425 South Bay Shore Drive, Madeira Beach. I did want to thank the gentleman because they changed their trucks so that they're able to take the larger pieces of cardboard and stuff. Before, if it didn't fit in the little blue box, they left it and it went to the landfill. And I really appreciated the having a larger truck so that you pick up all that cardboard, because there's lots of it. And I'm surprised that there isn't a recycling facility just for cardboard here in Florida, because I know in other states they actually recycle the cardboard and make other cardboard. So, but anyway, that's my comment. Is I appreciate the newer truck that picks up the stuff. Thank you.
Madam Mayor, if I may, just for clarification, looking at the memorandum, the number that was proffered in the memorandum is not consistent with the number that's actually in the contract. For residential rates, it is going from the $2.93, I believe. Let me just get back to the memorandum.
That was 17.
$2.93 per unit to, it's gonna go up to $6.33 per month. So it's a sizable increase, about 116% increase on the residential side. And for the multifamily, it goes from the 1532 to the 23, I just saw it here in the contract, 2398. So there is about a 54% increase from on the multifamily residential and about 116% increase on the single-family residential, and that is consistent with what we're seeing happen in the commodities market and what's happened to the recycle industry since China has changed their approach to recycling. So I did want to state that because the information that was proffered in the memorandum is not consistent with what the contract calls for.
Thank you.
That's a big difference.
It's a big difference.
Right, I am glad you clarified that, because it was clarified before, and I'd already kind of added it onto my own personal budget. And then when I saw that it wasn't really that much, I thought, wait a minute, where are we? So, thank you.
71,000. Any more public comment? Public comment is now closed. Any more discussion from the board?
Do we need to make a motion on
Do
it?
you need a motion, please?
Okay, I'll make a motion to, I'll move to approve another one-year extension to the existing Waste Connections contract
I'll second.
through 19.
All right, we have a first and a second. Will the city clerk please call the roll?
Vice Mayor Weinstein?
Yes.
Commissioner Oakley?
Yes.
Commissioner Hodges?
Yes.
Mayor Black?
Yes. Next item is adopting the memorandum of understanding creating the Tampa Bay Regional Resiliency Coalition.
Madam Mayor, members of the board, this item before you is a memorandum of understanding creating the Tampa Bay Regional Planning or Tampa Bay Regional Resiliency Coalition. I believe the vice mayor had an opportunity to attend the meeting, and basically what the nature of the discussions is developing a regional response as it relates to economic, social, and environmental issues, how to combat sea level rise and other issues on a more holistic and uniformed approach that folks would work together as opposed to one city or one region going off on a different tangent and a different path. So basically this memorandum memorializes a commitment from all partner entities to work in collaboration to build in resiliency strategies that address and mitigate against some of the challenges that we have both on the economic and environmental front. And the Vice Mayor can provide some more insight on the item as she was a party to the discussions.
Yes, Linda Portal and I did attend that regional resilient or regional council meeting. It was my first ever meeting, so I was just kind of feeling my way through it. But anyway, many of the people there, many of the communities and the representatives, the membership of the Regional Planning Council have already signed this coalition thing. So they were asking at this past meeting in August for all of the communities that have not yet signed it to sign on with them, okay? And so when I went home, I read it. Linda actually had the memorandum of understanding so that she could review it and make sure it was consistent with all of our goals in Madera Beach. And it is ready to be signed and then sent back to the Regional Planning Council to add to their many other ones. There are currently, I think there's 26 communities that are a part of the Regional Planning Council. And I think they had something like already 10 or 15 already signed. So we want to get that and get it back to them so that they can process it at their September 10th meeting. And there will be an official signing celebration on Monday, October the 8th, verifying that it will all be taken care of.
Great, that's a great idea.
Okay?
Okay. Floor is now open for public comment on this item. Floor is closed for public comment. Any more discussion from the board? All right.
Well, but I think we'll want to make a motion. I'd like to move to adopt the memorandum of understanding, creating this Tampa Bay Regional Resiliency Coalition to move forward in their efforts to get everybody's signature from the from the communities that they represent and to pass it along to the representatives.
I second.
Will City Clerk please call the roll?
Vice Mayor Weinstein,
Yes?
Commissioner Oakley,
Yes.
Commissioner Hodges,
Yes.
Mayor Black.
Yes. Next item is ordinance 2018-12, election ordinance prescribing the manner of holding the November 6, 2018 general election and providing polling location for election, first reading and public hearing.
Ordinance 2018-12, an ordinance of the City of Madeira Beach, Florida, calling for a general municipal election on November 6, 2018 for placing 10 charter amendments on the ballot for the Madeira Beach voters to decide on, providing for publication, authorizing election expenditures, identifying the Pinellas County Canvassing Board as a canvassing board for the November 6, 2018 general election, authorizing for a runoff election if necessary, providing for repeal of ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith to the extent of such conflict, and providing for an effective date. And Mayor, may I'm going to read the ordinance in its entirety because it sets up the procedures. Now therefore be it ordained by the Board of Commissioners of the City of Madeira Beach, Florida, an election shall be held in the City of Madeira Beach, Florida on Tuesday, November 6, 2018 for the purpose of the City of Madeira Beach voters to vote on 10 charter amendments. In accordance with City Charter Section 3.4, subsection B, the Board of Commissioners shall designate the Pinellas County Canvassing Board to serve as the canvassing board for the City of Madeira Beach. The canvassing board shall certify all tests of election equipment and shall canvass absentee as well as provisional ballots. The actions of the canvassing board shall be reported to the Board of Commissioners at its next meeting following the election. The Board of Commissioners shall meet following the certification for the purpose of declaring the results of said election. In the event of a runoff election is necessitated for a particular charter amendment, the runoff election will be held the second Tuesday in December. The polling locations for City of Madeira Beach voters to vote in November 6, 2018 general election are as follows. Precinct 415, Madeira Beach Municipal Building, City Center Room, 300 Municipal Drive, Madeira Beach, Florida. Precinct 301, Faith Community Church of Seminole, 11501 Walker Avenue, Seminole, Florida, 33772.
There's two more sections, section
Okay.
7 and 8.
I can do that. All ordinance of parts of this ordinance in conflict with the provisions of this ordinance is hereby repealed insofar as the same affect this ordinance. The ordinance shall take effect immediately upon adoption in the manner provided by law.
Thank you. The floor is now open for public comment.
Reese Noren, 363 Medallion Boulevard, your closest neighbor. The reason I feel compelled to speak is because when the proposal to have the referendum on the 9th of November was proposed, I was against that. And so I just want to be consistent. It isn't that I have any particular hate about how you're set up to do a vote, but I would like to add, today I found out it's going to cost $3,300, which you could have put towards the cost of our increased recycling program. I don't understand why a recycling program can't be profitable, and I do understand economics somewhat, but it looks to me like if it's worth doing, some company ought to be able to come up with a way to do it profitably, and maybe they are. Who knows? Anyway, I just wanted to be consistent and say I think this election for the referendum would be better held in March than in November. Thank you.
Robert Preston, 425 South Bay Shore Drive. I don't disagree with Reese's comment about holding it in March if you were going to hold it. The other thing, again, is I'm speaking up against the ordinance totally because there's some things in the amendments that are just totally ludicrous. I forget which amendment number it was, but paying attorney fees for commissioners regardless of fault found in a court action is totally ludicrous. If you are found guilty, I think you need to pay the court costs. The city should not be responsible for them at all. The other is the supermajority. I briefly spoke about this. The amendments to the Constitution, 231 years ago, the Constitution was written. There's 27 amendments in 231 years. 10 of those are the Bill of Rights. And you have slated for, I believe it's 37 or 38 amendments in the next couple of election cycles, which is totally ludicrous. So I truly believe that with similar to the U.S. Constitution, the House passes with a simple majority, 51%. Then it goes to the Senate, and that becomes a supermajority. And keep in mind, the supermajority is only 2/3 of the Senate. And you're trying to get 80%. 2/3 is 66%. And a supermajority here would be 80%. I think that's totally outrageous. My opinion is that all you want to do is stall any movement for improvement within the city. And I totally think that's wrong. So I think you would be best to hold this maybe again in March. There's some of the amendments that I think to our charter that I think are very reasonable. There's nothing wrong with them. But there's some that are just totally out in the weeds. And I think more thought needs to be given to them, more community input. And again, I remember the lady speaking up at our last meeting. She says we had meetings, but those meetings were held during the day when many of the people who work, have children in school, working out of town, whatever the case may be, and they come back, they can't attend those meetings, so you don't get that input. This is not just a community of a bunch of retired people. We have families here with kids. We have families that are younger, may not have kids, but they work. So to attend meetings during the day is very difficult at best for those people to attend those. And I've talked about this over and over. Meetings need to be held starting at 7 p.m. at night so that you can get attendance of the public as a whole. Thank you very much for your time.
Would anyone else like to speak? Public comment is now closed. Any more discussion from the board?
I would just like to make one comment, and I was paying attention to Mr. Preston the last time he made this comment, and I agreed, but then I kind of, I have so many mixed feelings, and it's with regards to the time of day that the meetings are held, okay? I remember for years and years, we used to go before, we started at 7 o'clock at night for everything, and you would have thought that a hurricane had come when they told me it was going to start at 6, because that was my supper time, okay? And then it changed, back to another time. Maybe it changed to 4 in the afternoon or to 5. So there's always going to be situations where a lot of the people can't be here, but we always have to remember that this project and this situation, these charter amendments, are for the people to vote on. We've not voted on them. We voted to put them out so that the people could vote for them, or vote against them, whichever they want. So I do believe that the opportunity certainly is there for everybody to read the issues and to be able to know that they are either for them or against them, and that's how they vote. Thank you.
Any more comments? All right, can we have a motion?
I make a motion that we approve ordinance 2018-12.
I'll second that. Second that motion.
Will City Clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Oakley?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Weinstein?
Yes.
Commissioner Hodges?
No.
Mayor Black?
Yes. There being no further business, the meeting is adjourned at 2:26.